Okay, so we are live here on Facebook, coming on a bit later on in the day, but better late than never. As you roll on in, you guys already know the drill. Go ahead and say hello so that I can acknowledge you and say hello to you. And if you're joining in on the replay, good to have you here as well. Let me go ahead and quickly share this out in a few places. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about, a lot of people, want to make more sales in their business. They want to attract more people. And it took me a little, I know that the answer to this question and to really, cultivating the habit of course, increasing sales in your business. It's very simple, but because it's so simple, it's easy to overlook, and we try to make it way more complicated than it really needs to be. So I wanted to discuss that a bit. And as you guys roll on in, just say hello so that I can acknowledge you and say hello to you. And we're going to get started. I'm just going to share this out in a few places, and then we're going to get started. Hello, Donovan. Okay, in one other place, and then we're gonna get started. And don't be shy. Say hello, even if you're watching on the replay. Say hello as well. All right, so I've shared it out, and I'm gonna get right into it right now. Okay, so let's get my notes here. So essentially being able to get people's attention is what's actually going to help you to cultivate the habit of generating sales and making sure that sales is a priority. It definitely will help. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna get myself situated here. Let me move up a little closer and put the tripod back. Okay, I think that's fine. So essentially you want to be able to get people's attention, and it sounds very simple, right? You have to be able to get people's attention. You have to be able to get people's attention so that you can, of course, engage in a conversation with them. That will, of course, allow for them to buy from you, right? People cannot buy from you if they don't know about you. They don't know what it is that you have to offer. And if you're the best kept secret, then that's also, you're essentially putting yourself in a space for people not to buy from you. And of course, you want people to buy from you. That's why you've built a business, right? So it's important that you're first able to get people's attention. And in all honesty, this is something that I struggled with, or it was a bit of a challenge for me at the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, and it still is something that I have to put a lot of effort into doing to this day, is to being able to, of course, get people's attention. And you don't have to be somebody else, or you don't have to put on this persona of someone else, or you see someone else doing really well and you figure, well, maybe if I'm more like that person, then I'll be able to attract people to my website, or to want to work with me, or to buy my products and services, right? Essentially just being yourself, and then also being visible. So, being yourself is one thing, but also ensure that you're being visible on the platforms and in the spaces that the people who would potentially buy from you are hanging out as well. So you have to know where those people are. You really need to know your market as well. I think that's the key thing as well to this. So it's of course, the first half is to be able to get people's attention first and foremost, but of course, ensuring that you're spending time on the platforms, or you're putting money behind the platforms that your ideal clients and customers are hanging out, so that you can, of course, communicate to them and, of course, engage in a conversation with them, so that, of course, they're able to eventually buy from you, right? Because if they don't know about you, they can't buy from you. And like I said, you can't expect to be the best kept secret and want to build a profitable business at that. So the third part of it, so I mean, it's a three-step series, or 3 steps that you have to take. So the first, like I mentioned, is you have to be able to get people's attention. The second is you have to know where the people who would be hanging out where your potential market is, where they're hanging out. So if they're on LinkedIn, then you might want to put some money, well, not might, you want to, of course, put some money into some LinkedIn ads, or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever it is that your people are hanging out, then you want to, of course, put some money behind that as well, right? So I see people roll on in. Say hello as you guys roll on in so that I can acknowledge you. I can't see, I can tell that there's people on, but I can't see who you are. Maybe I'm not sure why that is. So you want to, so the first thing, like I mentioned, is you want to be able to get people's attention, and then you have to be able to start the dialogue. And for a way for you to start the dialogue is to know exactly where they're hanging out, so you can of course start that dialogue. And then the third step essentially is to connect whatever it is that you have to offer, whether it's a product or service that's actually going to should, not potentially, but should improve their lives. Because people buy things that are actually going to improve their lives in some shape or form. People buy results. They don't buy fluff. If we were going to be spending money on things, it's going to it should be something that should be able to enhance their lives in some capacity. And I talk quite a bit about this, I believe, here on Facebook as well, about the 6 universal desires. So one of the ways to be able to quickly identify how you can connect what it is that you have to offer to the person who's going to buy from you is to link it to at least one of the 6 universal desires. And if you don't know what those 6 universal desires are, I'll quickly go over those if you're new to this idea of the 6 universal desires. So essentially, these are desires that every single human being has, or desires to improve upon. And they are the first is financial well-being. Of course, everybody, like if you tell someone there's something that they would learn, or something that they can invest in that's potentially going to make them more money, people are ready to do so, right? So financial well-being is one of the universal desires. The second one is improved health. So, I mean, improved health could be, in varying degrees. So, I mean, some people, I know that no one on the face of this planet ever wakes up and says, you know what, I don't want to be healthy. There's always room for improvement in your finances, but also in your health. So, I mean, for some people, it may mean that they want to be in tip-top shape. Some people just want to be able to improve the current, their fitness level. So, I mean, you have to figure out where that lies in. So if you're like a health and wellness coach, then how is that going to, of course, improve their health, right? So the first is financial well-being. The second is improved health. The third is contributing to something that truly matters. So, I mean, a lot of companies, when you buy their products, then, like a portion of the sales usually goes towards either, it could be different organizations. It could be something local, like a local shelter for women, for battered women. It could be for animal rescue. It could be for like a natural disaster relief fund. So, I mean, people like to contribute to something that truly matters. And of course, what truly matters is going to be different for everybody, right? So, I mean, all these 6 universal desires may not be something that you can connect all of them to your business, but at least one of them will. So like I mentioned, the first is financial well-being. The second is improved health. The third is contributing to something that truly matters. And the fourth is companionship. So people like companionship. People don't like to be lonely. And I mean, that's why in like apps do really well. Like dating apps, that they do really well, because people don't want to be lonely. People want to have companionship. So if maybe this doesn't apply to your business, but if you can link it to at least one of these 6 universal desires, it's going to be good for you. The fifth is having a sense of achievement. So what is it that they're going to get after they've invested in your program? Is it that they're going to get a certificate? What kind of achievement are they going to get, right? People like to feel a sense of achievement when they buy something. So how can you link that to whatever product or service it is that you have to offer? And the 6th and final one is being desired. And this works even in dating apps, but also think about cosmetics, like, for like MAC, Sephora. I was just at the mall earlier, and you know, they're always showing different campaigns with very attractive women. So I mean that focuses more if you were selling like a beauty product or cosmetics or something like that. Even if you look at even big brands like Gucci and Dolce & Gabbana, like when they're doing campaigns for you know, their spring collection or summer collection, fall collection, whatever the case is, they generally are very intentional about the models that they're using to showcase whatever the product is. So even if it's clothing or makeup, whatever the case is, they're very intentional about that as well. So you also want to replicate that in your business and think about how you can be intentional about that and connect it to at least one of the six universal desires. That's really going to be helpful. So just to quickly recap what those 6 universal desires are: the first is financial well-being, the second is improved health, the third is contributing to something that truly matters, and of course that's going to be different for every single person. But if you're really in tune with your market, then you will know what are the things that truly matters to them. The fourth is having a sense of having companionship. The fifth is a sense of achievement, and the sixth and final one is being desired. Thank you, appreciate it. And as you guys roll on in, if you guys are finding this valuable, I really appreciate if you guys go ahead and share this out with a friend, or go ahead and tag a friend to this video so that they can come back and watch this as well. So share it out with your friends. Tag someone on this video if you believe this is something that they definitely will find valuable. But really appreciate that. So like I said, being able to connect at least one of the 6 universal desires is going to, of course, put you in a position for you to close that sale sooner than later, and you're not having to go back and forth in a conversation, but you're always tying it into at least one of the 6 universal desires, because this is something that every single human being desires to have, this in a sense of improvement in at least one of these areas of their lives. So does anyone have any questions? You're welcome to ask them now. I know if people just kind of roll on in, we're the latter part of this broadcast, but I highly suggest you watch the replay. I wanted to come on and share this with you, this content and this information with you, because we're now moving into February, and I want to ensure that you guys are really in the mind frame and the mindset to of course close more sales and to really be intentional about making money in your business as well. All right, so does anyone have any questions? Now's the time to ask. If you're watching on the replay and you have questions, feel free to pop them in the comment section, and I highly suggest as well that you tag me in the question if you have it, so that I can of course answer it as well. So all right, I don't see any questions coming through, so I hope this was helpful and you guys found this valuable. I really appreciate if you guys go ahead and share this out, and I will speak to you guys soon. Bye.